Hello, I'd like to welcome you to this Zoom presentation. We're going to be sending this out with a link kind of pre-recorded here. We had some technical difficulties getting the meeting set up, but here with Justin Conway from my office, Paul McInnes, and we just wanted to give you a brief update on the properties that we're offering and the process of this pre-bidding and this live virtual auction for those who may not have participated in a similar auction. So I'm going to share our screen and we'll get started. So we're going to share and start with the property information package, which all of you presumably have received and gone over, and kind of highlighted some of the important parts that you want to take a look at. But in the beginning here, you can see that we've got properties in 4 different counties: Sullivan County, New Hampshire, Cheshire, Rockingham, and Essex. 11 parcels in total, and the pre-bidding is already open, as you very well know. And the live webcast auction will be beginning on February 19th at 10 o'clock. Pre-bidding will be ending at 9 o'clock on that day. So it's important to really review all parts of the property information package. We always get questions after people receive the package, and it's evident they haven't read it. Try and provide you with all the information that you need to be an informed bidder. This is the required agency disclosure forms. This is a little bit of a pre-bidding checklist. All of you probably have done that because you're already registered. The general terms and condition, again, talks about the online pre-bidding, and then the live webcast virtual portion of the auction. We've highlighted the due diligence. It's your responsibility to do your due diligence on which properties you're interested in. Make sure you know what it is that you're bidding on. That's what you want. Property conditions paragraph is important. We have the buyer's premium. There's 10% buyer's premium added to the bid price, become the total purchase price for each property that you buy. The real estate purchase and sales agreement, which we'll go over when we get to it, but it is important that you review that because it's as presented, other than adding the name, the bid price, deposit, etc. That purchase and sales agreement is the same for everybody. Everybody's bidding on the same terms. Earnest money deposit, you need to present 10% of the total purchase price on or before February 22nd at 3 o'clock. If that's not complied with, you'll be charged a non-refundable non-compliance fee. So we have a paragraph in there about successful bidder default. The seller's reservation of rights. All bids are subject to confirmation of the seller. Seller reserves the right to accept or reject the high bid on any individual parcel or combination of parcels. This page here gives a breakdown of the lots, giving you the lot number, the parcel reference number. For instance, parcel B is the first one, and then the address and the brief description. Then we get into more detailed description on the parcels. We broke it down again by county. As you can see is the 4 parcels that are in Sullivan County, in Claremont, Unity, and Charleston, New Hampshire. Each of these, each of these pages we consider the listing sheet, has the brief information on the property, the address, tax, reference numbers, assessment values, and more importantly are these links that you can click on to get the tax card. Excuse me, we went forward there. You can click on these links to get the tax card, the tax map, the land disclosure. That's an important one because that land disclosure will be attached to the purchase and sales agreement upon signing of the contract as well. So you want to click on those links and go through those if that's a property that you have an interest in. These maps are taken right from the town or city websites for the GIS systems. Property in Charlestown. This is a landlocked piece. No known access. This is parcel C. Great views from the top of the fields on this parcel. Mount Escutney. Not a very clear day that we took the photos, but very broad views looking across to Vermont. I believe you can even see Killington in the background. This is the Unity property. The photo up on the right kind of shows a class 6 road at the end of Happus Road that we believe goes down and connects to the Unity property. These two parcels are down in Keene and Cheshire County on either side of Route 9. And we have the individual listing sheets on those. Wyndham property, another landlocked parcel. And then we have the two properties in Rockingham County and Derry. One has frontage, one does not. One is landlocked, as you can see. And then we get to Haverhill, Essex County. We have two parcels there. This one being Crystal Lake with frontage on Crystal Lake as well as on Crystal Street. That's a great piece of property there. And then this page shows you the lot numbers for the combination parcels that would be offering as well. You can see in lot 12, we got A and B will be offered as one. Lot 13, C and D will be offered as one. In lot 14, E and F, and 15 will be I and J. When we get to those, we'll explain how that process works. And this paragraph is a good paragraph to read. This one highlighted in yellow that explains a little bit more about that process. We'll be going over that, but when you have the time, go back through and read that, and you get a better understanding of the how the auction will proceed with the individual bids and combination bids and the multiple rounds of bidding. This talks about the sample purchase and sales agreement again. It's the various attachments that will be attached to it, the seller disclosure, and there's an addendum, Exhibit A. The addendum will be attached to each of the purchase and sales agreements as well. So these next, this is the purchase and sales agreement. Again, the buyer's information will be inserted, the address for the property you're bidding on, and then the bid price and the closing terms. Once these are complete, these purchase and sales, you'll be getting those through a dot loop for electronic signature. Very simple, very quick. And then the deposit delivered by that time frame of February 22nd at 3 o'clock. Then following that are all the deeds, which I'm going to go through here quickly, but there's a deed for each one of the parcels of land that we're selling. They're all in your property information package. And I think I went by. No, this is the addendum. This is the addendum that would be attached to each one of the purchase and sale agreements. And then for the New Hampshire properties, this open space current use is applicable. Some of the properties that are in current use, you're accepting title to the property with those properties in current use, which is not a big deal because your taxes are going to be a lot lower unless you change the use of the property. Going back to that, if you have any questions about the current use, in New Hampshire, please feel free to email us and we can answer your questions on that. Again, most of you have already completed this portion of this page and the next one, so we can skip over that. At this time, I'm going to have Justin jump in here, and he's going to go over some of the bidding screens and the combination bidding process. Here's Justin.
Hello, thank you, Paul. Hello, everyone. Justin Conway here. I've had the pleasure of speaking to some of you on the phone, but we'll continue here with the package. So this is going to show you some of the active sales. So when you've been, if you've been bidding in the pre-bidding portion of the sale, this is what you're seeing. So you've gone in here, you've requested to bid, put your information in, and you've been approved by Katie. So you've been able to bid. So then you would go into the lower button here into view lots, and that's where you would do the pre-bidding. This is an example of the pre-bidding. So you can see one of the properties, lot 1, so that's parcel B. You can see where the current bid is, 82,500. What you want to note is number of bids. So you can see 33 bids have been placed, and if you click on that, it'll expand. So if we move to the next page, it shows you here that expanded window, so you can see when the bids were placed, who's been placing the bids, so forth. Here is a blow up of that particular property. If you run your cursor over that, you'll see that it'll expand even further and you can get a better look. Okay, so once the pre-bidding sale ends at 9 o'clock on the 19th, 1 hour prior to the virtual bidding, which will start at 10 a.m. This will be the screen that you'll see. So obviously here in red, enter the auction. So that's where you'll go in to be able to bid for that. So once you do that, this window is going to pop up. So this is the virtual bidding screen, and I'm going to kind of walk around it with you and just show you some of the points. So you can see up in the right-hand corner here, it says welcome bidder 172 with their last name. Okay, so you'll know that you're logged in if you see that there. I want to point out a couple of phone numbers that are on here. Should you have any issues, whether they're technical or just an issue during the auction, our phone number here at the office, auction company, so that would get to Katie or Paul or Justin, 603-964-1301. But if you have an issue with your screen or something's not working, then you'll want to get in touch with technical support. And there's a 603 number there for that. So that's who you would call. Okay. I'm sorry. Or in the chat room. So if you have an issue down here in the online chat, you could go ahead and put your question in there. So this would be the first lot. Okay, so it shows lot number 1, and it shows you that that's the one that we're bidding on. So parcel A in Charlestown, the 33 acres. So that would be the first lot, and that's the one that we're actively bidding on. This gray box here, that's going to be the live video feed. So you'll be able to see Paul calling the bids. You'll be able to see our auction board that we'll be filling in as the auction goes along. So you'll be able to see that there. Over on the far right is basically the details and a larger picture of the property that we're bidding on at that moment. Okay. Back down to the left here again is the online chat. If you had a question, that'll go just to the clerk. So the clerk will get that information and get that over to us. So down in the bottom, you can see the bid history. Okay, so it shows you $10,000 on the floor. So what that means is that's either the starting bid or that's the bid that we have currently. Up above, click to bid 11,000. That's the bid that we're looking for. So if you were interested in making that bid of 11,000, you would click on that button. So you can see once you've clicked, it says you are in. Okay, so you're now the current high bidder with the $11,000 bid. You can still see up on the left-hand corner, we're still on lot number 1, and down below in the middle, it shows you the bid history. So it showed you that there was 10,000 and we now have 11,000, and that screen is then going to change and it's going to show you the increment that we're looking for to be able to advance. This is now at the end of the bidding for the first round on lot number 1. So once all bidding has stopped on lot number 1 in the first round, that window is going to show pending. So it's not sold, it's not closed, it's simply pending. So in addition to this, we're going to be posting that number up on our auction board. Okay. So you'll be able to see that there as well. But on the screen, you can see that lot 1 is pending, and we're now moving to lot 2. You can see that it says up next. It says waiting for bidding to start. So as soon as we get ready to go, that will open up again and it'll show you what we have on the floor or what our opening bid will be. Okay, so we are now, I'm going to show you an example. Okay, so this is a board from an old auction. It's an example that we did a while ago. Okay, so obviously on the left, I can't find my cursor for some reason, but so we have property 1, okay, on the left hand side with a description. We have property 2 with a description, and then below that we have the combination bid of property 1 and 2. Okay, so in this scenario, you can see in blue dry erase marker, those bids have been placed with their bidder numbers, but I'm going to go through. So this board would be clear, and we would start the first round of bidding on property 1. So once we get to a high bid in that round, let's say we have the high bid of $100,000. Okay, and on the right hand side, you can see that we have bidder, that is bidder number 7, that is bid $100,000. We're then going to go to property 2, and we're going to start calling bids, and we end on $125,000 in the first round. Okay, and that was bidder number 11, as you can see on the right hand side. We're then going to go to a combination. If somebody is willing to bid on lot 1 and 2 together. Okay, so they ended up with a high bid of $235,000, and their bidder number was 35. So with the red asterisk there, you can see that they're now in control. Okay, so they're the high bid for the combination, and that's the controlling bid, as that number is higher than the combined number of 100 plus the 125. That'd be 225,000, which would be 10 less than the combination bid. Okay, so we're going to then open up another round of bidding. So here we go to round number 2. Okay, round number 2. So we're going to open it back up if there's anybody who would be interested in raising their bid on property 1. And it looks like we have a $115,000 bid. And again, that's also to number 7. So they were willing to raise their bid. It looks like property number 2, we've opened up the bidding on that one, and there was no advance. Okay, so we just have the original $125,000 on property 2, and that is still to bidder number 11. We then went on to open up the second round for the combination, and that bidder nor any other bidder chose to raise their bid. So you can see that in this situation, number 7 and number 11 are now in the controlling bid, because the 115 plus the 125 equals the 240. And so that would beat out the combination bid that we currently have of the 235. All right, so those are the controlling bidders. So now we're on to round 3. Okay, so we have a new bidder that's jumped in. So in round 3 on the first property, we have a new bidder who hasn't bid before, but that's bidder number 6. So bidder number 6 has placed a bid for $125,000. Okay, so we post that. Now we go to property 2. There's a new bidder there as well. So bidder number 4 has bid $135,000. And then we offered a combination bid in round number 3, and there was no advance there. So we see that bidder 6 and 4 are now the controlling bidders. So at $260,000, they certainly are higher than the 235. So now we have a 4th round of bidding. Okay, so there was no advance in the 4th round of bidding on the 4th property. So number 6, excuse me. So in the 4th round on the first property, there was no advance. In the 4th round on the second property, there was an advance. So we have an entirely new bidder, bidder number 8, who's bid $145,000 on property 2. Okay, and then the combination bid, there's been no advance. So we see that number 6 and number 8, who just got in there, those two bidders are now the controlling bid, with a combined 125 plus the 145 is 270,000, and that would be the controlling bid. So if there was no further interest and nobody wanted to go another round, we would then start announcing different properties sold. And you can see that with no further advance, bidder number 6 on property 1 would be the high bidder at 125,000. And then you can see that bidder number 8 on property 2 would be the high bidder with 145,000. And that would be the conclusion of that sale. So with that, that's the end of our presentation. So once you've had a chance to listen to this, if you have further questions, we hope that you'll email us, either Justin or Paul or Katie. So we look forward to seeing you next Saturday. I think you're going to enjoy it. It's a very open process. So we hope to see you there. Thank you. Paul, do you have anything to say?
All set.
All set. All right, folks.